Hi folks, welcome back to the Metal Mill 52 workshop. My name is Bill, this is my shop, and I've just embarked on building an LBSC Tich 3.5 inch gauge locomotive. This week I finished up the steel buffer beam for the front, and I made most of the episode you'll see is a quartering jig for these little 3.5 inch gauge axles. So I'll show you how I made this and how it works and what we need that for, and I'll also do a little show and tell, a little unboxing of these beautiful gunmetal parts, as the Brits say, parts that I'll need for the locomotive that I didn't have before, that I ordered them from Reeves 2000 or AJ Reeves, whatever you want to call that. So there's about a 5-minute segment in here where I do the unboxing and talk about that. So hope you enjoy. Stay tuned. I'm thinking this will only be another about 20-minute video or so, and like I said, I hope you enjoy it and follow along, and here we go. Thanks everybody. This week I did finish up, the end of the week I finished up the front steel bumper. You can see it here with the original buffer beam or buffer and the new buffer that I made, and the screws. I think it came out really nice looking. So I did take out the rear axle again, because the next thing I need to focus on while I'm waiting for those parts to come from England is a quartering jig. So I took the axle out again and played around with some ideas, drew them up on paper, and let me show you what I've got so far. I've got a couple of pieces of 1/2 inch steel here, 1/2 inch by 1.25 inches. I cut them about 3.25 inches long, something like that, and I've got a base piece too. So the pivot point is going to be right here. I'm going to cut some notches here that will be the key to the quartering, and I've got some countersunk holes in the bases for fixing them to the base. Here I'm cleaning up the sides of the base. Here I've drilled and tapped the first of the 2 ends for the 1032 screws that'll go in there. Well, my plan didn't work out really well. This side actually came out half decent. It's pretty well lined up. The side bar is pretty well flat, flush against the bottom bar here. Although if you run your finger along it, you can feel a little irregular. Here's the jig, the alignment jig for quartering underway, and my plan didn't work out perfectly. This side is not bad. If you run your finger along here, you can feel a little bit of misalignment. But on this side, when I put both screws in, oh my gosh, it was off probably a 64th of an inch. This hole over here where my thumb is tapping is out of whack. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use the mill to mill out this hole. You can see the little chalk mark up there. I need to mill that out about a 64th of an inch higher, and I'll elongate the countersink screw area. Same kind of thing on this side. I'll just open those holes up just a little bit for the perfect alignment too. What I should have done, it's tough drilling a vertical hole on a long skinny piece like this. What I should have done is taken the time to put this against my tall angle piece that I made, the angle iron piece that I made, that I used on the Quorn tool and cutter grinder. That probably would have been a way better setup than using the vise, but anyway, I can fix that. And on a much brighter note, my package arrived today from Reeves 2000. I'm going to cover up my address here just because I don't want to broadcast that, but Reeves 2000 in jolly old England. They sent me my package today, my parts, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I thought I'd take a moment and do a live unboxing for you. Let's see. I was trying to read where it came from. Appleby Hill, Atherstone, United Kingdom. So, customs declaration and all that stuff. Let's get the old Swiss Army knife out. This should be my eccentric parts that I ordered. Slip eccentric gearing. Yay. Okay. packing slip or something. These people were very nice. We traded some emails. Yeah, it's just the packing slip. So it should be the saddle for the large boiler, because I didn't have one of those. Slip gear, brackets, valve chest covers, and the steam tees. So they're all packed in this little foam wrapping. This is exciting. All you hobbyists will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's always fun when you get new parts and pieces. Ooh, they look good. Okay. So starting with some of the small stuff, this is obviously the steam tees. They're very tiny. I'll try to hold these up. Last time I did an unboxing and show and tell, I neglected to hold the parts up close enough. It's even, it says Tich on there, so very cool. That should machine up nicely. And again, small things. These are clearly the steam chest covers. Look at the little, on my Allen Mogul, my steam chest covers have a thing on top of them and a little oiler goes in there. I don't think the Tich design is that way, but something nice. At the very least, you could be held in a 3-jaw chuck and then flattened in the lathe if you wanted to do it that way. That's probably what that's for. Pretty cool. I could have used hunks of flat brass for that, but I always liked the look of castings and they weren't much more to order. Alright, now this is interesting. It's just one. Hopefully there's more than just that one. Eccentric. That's weird. Well, sugar. Because I'm going to need a total of 4 of these things. I don't see 4 in there. I would have thought that was the whole set. Slip gear, brackets, bearing. Oh, for crying out loud. That's disappointing. I may need to have ordered more of those. Shoot. And these are the little the rocking levers. I can tell that this gets turned down and fit through the side of the side frames. These look like the guide brackets, a pair of them that get bolted onto the side frames and support the rod that comes out of the cylinders. And there's the saddle, nice. It's all pretty. The only thing I'm disappointed about is actually a little bit frustrated with slip gear brackets, bearings. I thought that was the whole set. It was 15 pounds. Oh, for crying. Okay, that was a little bit of an embarrassing problem, but a pretty easy fix. Just enlarged the holes. I went ahead and enlarged both of them and then test fit it, and I did have to elongate one of the countersinks over here on one side. The other side I just needed to enlarge the holes, but I got it so that it's all nice and flat and square now. So next order of business is to make the notches, machine or file those down to the scribe lines, and then make the centers. Hey, to follow up on the business about the missing eccentric strap casting, I do need 2 of these. If I said 4 in the video, I made a mistake, but there was only one in the package, so I carefully double-checked. I double-checked the packaging and everything to make sure one wasn't loose or even stuck inside, something else, but it wasn't. And so I emailed the good folks at Reeves, AJ Reeves, or Reeves 2000, I guess as they're known now, and I got a prompt email back from a lady that said she checked the CCTV feed, of the packing of my order, and that I was correct, that they just gave me one, so they're going to mail me another one, so I appreciate that. And I was kind of surprised, kind of amazed really, that they have a closed circuit television of their packaging area, so that kind of speaks well about their professionalism. So next thing I'm working on, as you can see, I've used the bandsaw and cut off the notches for my alignment jig here. I need to mill these things right down to the line, the scribe lines that are along the center, or the proper axis of the material themselves. So this one, it's the vertical axis, and this one here, obviously, it's the horizontal axis of the point of rotation. And speaking of rotation, I've cut a couple of short pieces of 3/8/16 threaded rod that what I'm going to do after I finish the milling and get those things right on center line, I'll put the threaded rod in the lathe and turn those down to some nice 60-degree points. So that's what I'm going to work on tonight, Saturday night. And I'll bring you back as we go. I'm doing here, I'm just creeping up on the line. As you can see, there's the milled section. I've only taken off a total of 7 thousandths. When I get down to the part that's saw cut still, that's right on the line. So I'm taking off just a couple thou at a time just to flatten that out and get right to the scribe line. Okay, there we go. I was using a magnifying glass and a flashlight to get me right to the scribe line here. This will be the vertical part of the quartering jig. I did clean this up a little bit, but not completely, because I didn't want to mess up anything over here. I just let it be. Okay, we got it right to the line on this one. I'll just file and smooth this little sharp edge off a little bit, and then deburr the whole thing. And here I am making the 60-degree pointed pivot points from threaded rod. Alright folks, well I think that's going to be a wrap for this week's episode. Here is the finished quartering jig, and I'm very excited. I appreciate my friend Fred for coming up with this whole idea and sending me pictures of a much larger one that he created for the 7.5-inch gauge locomotives. But to just show you a little bit about how it works, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You've got some pivot points here that are right on the axle center line, and then the horizontal pin is here, and that's 90 degrees away from the vertical pin. And the lines that I milled to are exactly on the axle center line, and that gives you the 90-degree offset. We can get into that more when we set the actual timing on the locomotive, but really pleased with how this came out. And the proof is in the pudding. The axles are already quartered as they sit, because it sits in there just perfectly, no gaps. So we'll just leave that like it is for the time being. And again, the parts, really excited about these. These will be some of the next parts that I'll be working on. These are the pieces that go in the valve rockers, basically, that will go inside the frame, and then these are the guides that will hold the guide bar from the cylinder back, and then of course the eccentrics that we've discussed. So real excited about this. I'll just keep the videos coming and keep you posted. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Please pass the word. I am trying to grow the channel, and if you have any questions, please ask me. I'll do my best to answer them. So thanks everybody. Hope you have a great week. Stay safe and enjoy. Take care.